On a daily basis, I speak to people who have anxiety, depression, who struggle with their life in some way or other. And very often I hear that they're also struggling with sleep. And specifically, if we don't take care of the sleep first, then taking care of the other things is going to be more of a challenge. Because during the sleep, we recategorize our days, we actually work very, very hard while our eyes and ears and nose and our senses are turned off or turned down. So during sleep, we process a lot of our day, and if we don't sleep well, or we sleep in a chemically induced way, then our brain is actually not functioning optimally, and that means that we're not going to get a good night's sleep. And if we don't get a good night's sleep, then the rest of the day becomes about catching up on backed up information. So, how do you sleep well? Well, sleeping well is sometimes quite a challenge. So, let's first talk about how we support sleep itself and not just about sleeping. So, one of the ways in which we can support sleep is with food, with a routine for food, actually. So, most people go to bed at between 10 and 11. So based on that, I'm going to, if it's for you differently, then of course you're going to change your timing. After 4 p.m., don't eat anymore or don't consume any more caffeine. So caffeine is, some people are not sure where the caffeine is. Caffeine is obviously in coffee and in tea, but caffeine, there's quite some caffeine, about 10% left in decaffeinated coffee, so also avoid that. But you'd be surprised that caffeine is in some orange pop drinks. It is, of course, included in various products that are meant to make you feel better, especially things that have sugar in it. But also in green tea, in white tea, in matcha. There's lots and lots of ways in which you can ingest caffeine. So caffeine is one of the things that, of course, affects your sleep quite a lot because it actually makes you feel more alert. After 4 p.m., no fruit. That includes refined sugar, that includes fruit juice, no fruit juice. One of the reasons is also because fruit turns to alcohol in your stomach. So you want to have digested most of that sugar by the time you want to go to sleep. So that brings me to another topic. Avoid alcohol. Alcohol dehydrates, and alcohol also contains fructose-like substances, and they're not actually very good for keeping you asleep. Plus, it drugs your brain, and your brain then doesn't do efficient sleep. It does go to sleep because it makes you drowsy, but it doesn't give you efficient sleep. Surprisingly, no corn or cauliflower or cruciferous foods, or as little as possible, maybe small portions of cooked kale, but certainly not raw kale. Cabbage, Brussels sprouts, while these are really good for you to eat at lunch, don't eat them in the evening if it is about your sleep. If you sleep fine, by all means eat those, but if you don't sleep well, see if you can avoid them for now, and then your sleep will improve. And that's because your small intestines have a tendency, when they're very busy, to wake you up. No ginger, no wasabi, and no ginseng. Again, eat those in the daytime, no problem, just not in the evening. And the evening really starts for people who sleep at between 10 and 11. The evening really starts for food around 4 p.m. Eat a little flaxseed in yogurt before you go to bed. So milled flax is a great way of getting your omega-3s. in some yogurt, some full fat yogurt just before you go to bed. That'll actually give you like a little bit of a full feeling, and it'll give you lots of omega-3s to rebuild your brain. In the evening, concentrate on eating things like starches, like potatoes, rice, beans, vegetable, little protein. Eat protein during the middle of the day, just not during the end of the day. So low protein and no fructose at the end of the day. Eat quite a lot of fat and a lot of starches. If you're on a diet, pick one so that you're either eating more starches or more fats and then not combine them. If you're not on a diet, please just eat both. Fats would be yogurt, feta cheese, ricotta cheese, ice cream, the good stuff, not the cheap stuff. Unfortunately, that has lots of milk in it and lots of sugar, and also lots of oils. You'll be surprised how much oil is in ice cream. And then for bedtime, also nuts. Very important for a sleep routine is actually a wake routine. So get up at the same time every single day, even if it's weekends, even if it's your day off or your birthday. Now, nap in the daytime if you want, but get up at the same time. So every day at the same time, even if you went on a bender the night before, or you had a party, or you couldn't sleep very well, get up at the same time. If you find yourself waking up within 2 hours before your normal wake up time, then just get up and do something quiet. Watch the city wake up. It's a very nice quiet time. Bundle up into something warm and go for a little stroll if you can, or just sit yourself in a chair wrapped in a blanket and just snooze or doze. It's actually quite a good way of waking up slowly. When you're napping, pick time intervals that are somewhere between 22 and 25 minutes. So 22 minutes, 44 minutes, 66 minutes. Be careful that you don't sleep an hour. Sleep just a little bit longer than an hour, because otherwise you're going to be interrupting some of the most important parts of your sleep, which comes in cycles. Waking up, when you get up at the same time every day, then what you do is you stretch a little. Light stretches, such as sun salutations. Sun salutations are a yoga term. So there are multiple kinds, but the simplest one, do the simplest sun salutation that you can. I think there's sort of a light version and a heavy version. Do the light one as best as you can, sort of 5 sun salutations as you get up. Then connect with water. So drink water, have a warm shower, splash your face with cool water, go for a swim, one of those activities. Some people say have a cold shower. Please don't do that. Just have a nice warm shower, but connect with water. Water changes how we, our whole physiology changes when we connect with water. Then eat starch. Start your day on starch. So I would recommend 1/3 cup of steel cut oats. Boil them. They take 3 minutes to do. Some of them take 45 minutes, but there are 3-minute steel cut oats out there that you can buy. Otherwise, cereal or a slice of bread, a couple of slices of toast, something like that. Start with starch, and do your protein or your shake or your bacon and eggs even a little bit later, maybe an hour and a half after your very first meal. Your very first meal should be high in energy, and the energy should come from fast release energy that releases glucose, which is specifically the good sugar for your brain. And it helps you wake up and start in second gear or even in third gear. Don't eat bacon and eggs, eat those later, and don't grab a protein shake because you're lazy. This is really not going to be very useful. grabbing a protein shake will make you lethargic right away, and it'll focus your body on digesting the protein rather than giving you the energy to start your day, which is not very good for your sleep, because then you don't really wake up. You want to really wake up at the same time. So in terms of supplements for sleeping, avoid sleep aids, sleep medications. Ask your doctor if you're on sleep medication, if they're optional. Ask your doctor, can I go off them for a little while, or can I take less, because I want to try it without. I'm not telling you to break your prescription. Just ask your doctor if you can slow down on your sleep medication and try something new. Depression medications. Ask your doctor if you can take them in the morning, because at night, what happens if you take a sleep medication in the night, or a depression medication in the night, it actually alters the way that your brain works. And when your brain is drugged, it doesn't work very efficiently while you're asleep. It sounds kind of strange that we want our brain to work efficiently, but while we're sleeping, we're actually in an input scarce environment. So we're actually creating an environment for our brain that it can do its best work, because we're not interrupting it. So if we drug the brain while we're asleep, then it's actually not doing its best work, and you want your brain to do its best work, because then you wake up in the morning refreshed. Same thing with anxiety medications. Ask your doctor if you can take them before 4 p.m. And if you like to supplement with herbs, don't take valerian root, because what it will do is it will again drug your brain. It will slow down your brain, which will put you to sleep for sure, but it won't give your brain the efficiency that it needs to work in the background. So what do you take? Well, there's two very specific things that I want you to think about. Think about making yourself a tea for maybe 15 to 20 minutes before you go to bed, and it's made up of chamomile, fennel, and aniseed. Aniseed and fennel, just get them from the bulk barn, or I don't want to endorse anybody particularly, but from a big bulk store or something, so that you don't spend too much money on it. And chamomile, I would look for a good source, maybe your local organic store or something like that. Maybe not chamomile tea, because it's made up of all the pieces of the chamomile. What you really want is those little spongy middles. You know, they look like daisies. That little spongy middle is actually where the magic is. So you want that ingredient. What it does is it works as a nervine, and it calms down your bodily nerves. And fennel calms down your stomach, and aniseed your small intestines. And when that is calmed down, your brain doesn't get interrupted during your sleep with what's happening as much in your body, and that'll give your brain the efficiency that it deserves. The other thing that I would recommend is to possibly investigate the use of melatonin. I don't really like the melatonin that you ingest, that you put into your stomach, because it becomes less efficient inside. So there is a melatonin you can get, there's lots of them, that is 3 milligrams that you put under your tongue. It's called sublingual, under your tongue. And that's the one that I would recommend that you look at for yourself. I put mine under my tongue and then go straight to bed with it under my tongue, and it assists me in kind of signaling my system that it's time to sleep. Now, one of the things that signals our system that it's not yet time to sleep is sunshine and light. And I really want to emphasize the following. No screens. No screens for an hour before bed. That's about as emphatic as I can get. But no TV, no Kobo readers, no laptops, no cell phone. don't do it, because your eyes will be seeing the photons, the actual light coming from your screen. These are really high contrast and they're for very bright screens. And those screens will signal your brain that it's daytime. And if there's anything that will eat the melatonin, and that is the signal in your brain that it's daytime, and you're not going to be going to sleep. So think about it. When you are having trouble falling asleep, you're most likely looking at a screen waiting for you to get tired. Well, you can get exhausted, physically, bodily exhausted, but actually feeling tired comes from your signal that it's nighttime. And that really doesn't help if you're looking at a screen. So no screens for an hour before bed. Try it, you will really like that one. The other one is don't charge your phone next to your head. A lot of people put their phone on their night table right next to their head, and it emits a very high-pitched buzzing sound. And that's, of course, how it is able to charge with such a tiny little cube. We used to use like these big blocks, these transformers. Now we use these little cubes, and the little cubes, what they do is they kind of cut the electricity. And that cutting is done electronically, and that electronic sound causes a high-pitched noise that some people can hear, but most people don't hear it, and it actually keeps you awake. It disturbs you because it pulses. The other thing is the light from your alarm clock. Put your alarm clock at the foot of your bed so that when you wake up in the middle of the night, you can actually just raise your head a little bit and look down at your alarm clock. Don't put your alarm clock right next to you on the nightstand. So there you have it. Food for sleep, a wake-up routine, supplements, which ones to take and which ones not to take, and a sleep routine. So what you do in the moment going to bed. An hour, no screens. What do you do during that hour? Read a book, listen to the radio, take a bath, make your tea, go for a little walk. I guarantee you going for a little walk will really, really help your system in the evening to feel like it's becoming nighttime, and it will want to go to sleep. It'll get that signal, now it's time. So what else would you like to talk about? I'm happy to make more videos demystifying topics on mental health, mental strength, life coaching. Leave some questions in the comments below, or make some comments, or just say hi. Click on the subscribe button so that you're the first one to find out about new content. Take care of your mental health.